So what do we normally need for this job? Normally we need a pair of adjustable pliers like this to get the collar off. And since we don't know what kind of screw we're going to find inside there, we'll need a veritable set of screwdrivers, either Allen keys. It'll either be an Allen key or a flat screwdriver. On the rare occasion, it'll be a Phillips. So either flat, slotted rather, or a hex. Either one of those should do the job on the inside. Once we get to the core, we will need an adjustable wrench like this one here to take out the cartridge. So let's bring you up to speed with where I am here. Okay, I've done a few things ahead because it's much easier to show them to you here. On the bottom, usually where the handle is, you'll find a little cap here. You just use your Swiss Army knife or whatever, and you can pop it out. Sometimes these are red and green, red and blue rather. Sometimes they're chrome, whatever. But you have to take this out. Now, once this is out, it exposes a screw that is inside here. You can see the screw inside there. Now, generally, these screws, they're made with an Allen or a Phillips. However, this one, they decided to make it with slotted, which to me is the worst of all worlds for this kind of thing because it's the hardest to find. Anyway, but you take your screwdriver, you stick it in here and find your screw, and then you back it off, okay, so that it's loose. Once it's backed off, then it has to come off of this post here. To do that, this, after time, is going to fuse a bit, going to create friction between the mounting and this. Now these are basically zinc alloys, and sometimes with time, this actually just disintegrates, in which case you're looking for a whole new unit. But otherwise, if it's still in good shape, to get this off, what you do is you bang it in a little bit with a rubber mallet or your fist or whatever. Bang it in, and that'll help to break the friction between the two, and then just work it back and forth, back and forth, back and forth until it finally comes out. And then you can get this off. So that's how to get that out of there. Here's a precaution that I took, and that was to plug the drain, and just in case any small parts fall, we don't want them taking off on us. We got this far, and normally what we should see inside here, I should be able to unscrew this here. It doesn't come apart. I put penetrating oil and so on in here. This has actually been crimped into place, and the cartridge has been crimped into place. You can see the things holding it. What we should see is a brass collar here, a brass collar right there. On the outside of the cartridge, we should be able to unscrew that brass cartridge. We should be able to take this off, it should screw off, and then we should be able to unscrew the brass cartridge. This doesn't have either. What does that mean? It means we have to take the whole thing off the wall and replace it with another unit. If you're looking for the size of the spanner, if you have a set of fixed spanners, it comes to 1 3/16. You can see it here, 1 3/16. Okay, the bare minimum that you should find in the box is, first of all, the control. So here's your control. This is different from the one that's on there, but it doesn't matter, it does the job. These are basically 14.5 to 15 centimeters in distance, center to center, and they're adjustable. We'll see how to adjust them in a minute. The other thing that's the bare minimum, you don't need all the rest of this stuff. The only other things you need are your adjusters in case you don't have it already. But you see these two little black washers That is essential. If they're not in the package, don't take it. You need those. So these washers and this and your adjusters. So that's your basic material that's in here. If you get a shower head and so on with it, that's fine, that's bonus. But this is the stuff you need. First thing we're going to do is remove the shower itself, the shower head. Now, it should be only finger tight, but sometimes with time they sort of get fixed into place, so you may have to loosen it just a little bit. And the reason we do this first is to get rid of any little extra water there. Okay, I'm going to need this later. Now this is only a 1 inch. It's not going to be big enough for that. So we call them bigger guns. And we're going to start here. We've already released the pressure. As you can see, it comes out fairly easily. So again, use our trusty Swiss Army knife just to take off our washers here. Out with the old and with the new. Now hopefully these line up. If they don't, I'll show you what to do. So I'm just going to check them for alignment first. It lines up perfectly, so I'm not worried about that. If it hadn't lined up, what you do is you remove these two things here, and this, as you can see, it's sort of a cam, and by turning it you adjust the distance between the two pipes here. Okay, do you need to put Teflon on here? Absolutely not. The reason why, I mean, if you want to put Teflon on, there's no sin against it, as long as the Teflon does not get in the way of your washer. And that's always a big danger. So you put your washer in here. The only advantage of the Teflon is that it makes it maybe so that it doesn't stick with years of waiting sitting there. But there's no other advantage, because if this washer doesn't hold, it's going to come pissing out here before it even gets to the Teflon. So it's really not useful at all. So now we've put in our two washers. Line this up. Okay, it's having trouble catching, which means it might not be perfectly lined up. So I'm going to take this off. And it's already to the outside, so there's no adjustment on this side. Let's see if we have one on the other side. Okay, we do. And this is, okay, it needs to go slightly to the right, very, very slightly. That may be too much, we'll see. Just check it. My finger tight it. That one's caught. This one is caught. I'm going to bring it back a hair. Just very, very slightly. Okay, that's perfect. We have freedom of movement here. So now we'll take this off. Put this back on. Okay, and we are set. Okay, now as best you can, you try to screw them in at the same time. Otherwise, if it goes a little bit crooked, then they get further apart. Now comes the crucial part. You have to do this with feeling. You do not want to crush those washers. Now, before I hook anything else up to it, I'm going to test it to make sure it holds water. Okay, so I didn't have this one quite all the way in. As you can see, it sprayed a little water up here. Water around there. But that's okay. We just come back, tighten it up. Washers in place, everything's snug. Your job is almost finished. All that remains is to reconnect your shower. Unless your washer is really old, finger tight should do the job. And check it. And nothing leaking here, so finger tight is good. We're in business. Hi. If you enjoyed what you saw in that video, then please click the subscribe button over here. Yeah, that one. Click the subscribe button, please. And whenever I put a video up, you will find out about it. Please.